Guess what Donald Trump did today? Donald Trump came out. Hey, Spirit-filled, thank you so much. Appreciate the generosity. Hey, Donald Trump came out and signed an executive order. An executive order saying that English is actually the official language of the United States of America. Wow! I mean, it's sort of strange that we have to do this, right? But how many times, you know, on the phone, it's like, press 2 for Espanol. Or even in my little state that I grew up in, New Hampshire, I've never really understood why when you cross over the border from Massachusetts into New Hampshire, there's a big sign that says, Bienvenue. That's French for welcome. And then in little letters, it says, welcome to New Hampshire. I mean, they're coming from Massachusetts. I might understand it a little bit better on the other side of the border, right? Because you're coming from Canada, from the Montreal, Quebec region, driving down into New Hampshire. And so then you might expect a sign in your language. But if you're coming up from Massachusetts, I'm sorry, you ought to speak English. So we have that in New Hampshire, and it's always kind of been like, why? Why? And then you look around and you think about how isolated immigrant communities become in this country because they do not speak the language that's going to enable them to have a more prosperous future. A great example is New York's Chinatown. You can live in New York in Chinatown and never have to speak a word of English. Think about that. You have kids that are in school, in public school in New York, where they're not actually being taught English. They're taught a lot of their subjects in their native language because, we have to be accepting of all these different cultures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like when they give them the $350 in food, the illegal migrants coming into New York City, you get the fancy hotel room. Well, no more, but you were getting the fancy hotel room with maid service. And you were getting a $350 credit card per week to be able to go out and buy food that was ethnically appropriate. They found that, everybody needs ethnically appropriate food. No, I'm sorry, you're in America. We're serving pizza tonight. Deal, right? And it's the same exact thing on the language front. If you're going to come to this country, one should expect that we have a cohesive identity, and part of that identity is speaking the same language. I actually speak 4, believe it or not. English is my first language and clearly my preferable language, but I speak 4 languages, and if I put my mind to it, I bet I could throw in a few more. But, I say that just because it's not like I'm anti-language or any of that. I think it's great to be able to speak a lot of languages, but we got to have one that unites us, right? And we got to start acting more like we care about being united. And if you come to this country, back in the old days, right, when a lot of our ancestors came, it was all about, we must speak English. We must speak English. We must be more American. And we were all united in that American identity. When I was a little girl, I used to say to my mom, because we're Irish, the Olympics are on, like, who should I, because we still, like, very much, hey, I got my green on today, and it's not even St. Patrick's Day. We very much identify as Irish. So when I was little, I was confused, and I'd say, Mom, like, who do we root for? And she said, always America. Trish, always America. You are American first. Yes, your heritage is Irish. But in this country, you're American. And that is the message that we need more and more and more. So if it means having one single language and everybody has to speak it, so be it, okay? You can appreciate your culture, but remember what you are. You are American first and foremost before anything else.